Hey, what's up, everybody? I want to welcome you to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Daily Recap, where we give you a recap of all of the hot topics that we covered that day. You can catch them in their long format and also catch it fully streaming for free on Apple Podcasts. We did a show about 2 days ago. Yeah, 2 days ago on Monday, reacting to the insane comments that came out of Kendrick Perkins' mouth. As you guys know, Media Day kicked off on Monday. And with that being said, it means the NBA season is upon us, and it means that now these hot take artists decided to jump out of the bushes and then start giving their hot takes. And Kendrick Perkins decided to be the first one to run to the front of the line and basically do that job. So people were reacting to Media Day, and then Kendrick Perkins decided to jump out of the window without a parachute and essentially say that he believes that the Lakers could potentially go to the NBA Finals. You can't take these people seriously. Maybe he forgot, but there are a couple of teams in the West that maybe he forgot about. Let me just bring up some of them. You have the Thunder. Good luck beating that team. You have the Houston Rockets, who got better, although we got to find out what they're going to do with Fred VanVleet, replacement or whatever. You have the Denver Nuggets. Yeah, good luck with those guys. Then you have the Wolves, who beat the Lakers with these same guys, although they added a few other pieces. Then you got the Clippers. Then you got the Warriors. Then you got the Dallas Mavericks. And you just saw that they're going to go straight to the finals based on what? LeBron got a fresh fade during that meeting. I'm confused with these dudes, right? So I was going through the internet today and I came across an article from the website Basketball Network, and it had the following headline stating this, featuring Richard Jefferson. It says, "The Lakers are a lot further away than what we really want to try and give them credit for." Richard Jefferson isn't buying the Lakers hype heading into the season. So I sat back and I thought about that. And I said to myself, this guy is basically exposing ESPN for what they do. And I've been saying this. And Charles Barkley has been saying this. ESPN is a hot take machine. And they pander to Laker fans. Even when they know the Lakers aren't good, they still go out there and say that they're good. It's one of the reasons people like Charles Barkley has been calling them a bunch of idiots for their Lakers takes. Because they know the Lakers are a middle of the pack team, but they still keep promoting and promoting and promoting because they know the fan base will tune in and watch and watch. I told y'all we're covering the Lakers this season. I'm not twerking. There's no twerkation happening over here. We're going to call it exactly how we see it. We're not going to be doing no buffoonery commentary on the Lakers. I'm not doing it. People, I think, will gravitate to our content if we're telling them the bloody truth. And I'm not one of those people that's jumping out the window during media week talking about, the Lakers are going to go to the finals based on the fact that LeBron looked fresh during his Media Day interview. So what I want to do is want to play what Richard Jefferson had to say. And I believe he's telling on his company because this is what they do. And he's up there fighting with Kendrick Perkins, Mr. Jump Out the Window himself, right? I want you guys to listen to what he had to say on their podcast, Road Tripping, and then want to come back and continue on. Take a listen to what Richard Jefferson and the points he was making here and pushing back on Kendrick Perkins and what he was saying. Take a listen to that there.
So if you have him as top three, look at how his ear's leaning forward. So you say that ideally those are the only two teams better than them, right? In the conference. So, ladies and gentlemen, Perk just established that the Lakers he has losing in the second round.
What was the joke?
What was the joke? They're the third best team in the NBA, and Perk has them losing in the second round. So
that would essentially be though.
I agree. That's what I'm saying.
Because then you have the other two teams meeting in the conference finals.
No, but I'm saying, is like you can talk about their.
Yeah, where is the joke?
I'm saying that the joke is we're talking about them being the third best team. They're a second round team. So, do we really think that they have a chance to win an NBA championship?
It's called your math ain't mathin', Rich.
No. I'm messing. First of all, whoa, everyone, lower it down, Alex. Whoa, lower it down. You raise.
The
joke that I'm trying to make is this: that the Lakers, he's saying, are the third best team. I think they're like the fifth or sixth best team. That's my opinion. Right? Fifth or sixth best team, they typically lose in the second round, right? If you're the third best team, in the league, I don't see the Lakers going out in the second round, which I believe that's probably the max that their team can do unless they get really lucky. If they get Oklahoma City, if they get a Houston, even in my opinion, if they get a Denver in the first, second round, they're going to lose. That's what I'm saying. The Lakers are a lot further away than what I think we really want to try and give them credit for. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, that is your opinion. That's not mine. Because I do believe that, like, if they happen to match up and both squads were healthy, I mean, the Rockets would actually have to play some pretty damn good basketball.
Agreed.
We're actually going to take a strong pivot here because it's not on the rundown. But speaking of the Rockets,
so you heard what Richard Jefferson had to say. Look, guys, I'm conflicted about the Lakers this year. I'm okay. I'm excited because now I'm getting closer to becoming a Laker fan again. I stopped in 2016 when LeBron got there. I couldn't do it. Then I started hearing the weird things the fan base was saying, and then it took me a while to realize these are not Laker fans. These are LeBron. I'm like, okay, no, I can't do it. So I've been on recess for God knows how many years now. Going on what? 8 years. But now that I know that the Lakers are not giving him a contract extension, I said to myself, well, I guess the coast is almost clear for us to start returning back to support the team. But I'm conflicted because his ass is still there, right? And then, of course, we got the first day of nonsense that he pulled, the first antic of the month of the season, which was he had, glute issues, irritation of a nerve in his glutes, his ass, basically. So he couldn't participate in training camp the first day. And then I'm like, hold on a second. But then he's attending Casanet's live stream and the guy's dancing in the damn living room, walking. I thought you have glute issues, but you're in here dancing. So you can be in here dancing, but you couldn't be in training. I'm like, it's just unbelievable. Just imagine Kobe Bryant doing this, right? So LeBron is just there, right? Already irritating people. So I'm torn because he's still on the team, but I'm feeling good about rooting for them. So I just have to find a way to deal with this nonsense this year. I don't know how I'm going to deal with it. In terms of the promote, back to what I was saying. These people get up there and twerk and holler and scream and pour honey all over each other's shoulders. They rub it on like damn body lotion. They just sit up there and holler all day long. Shout out to Gilbert Arenas. He another one. He part of the twerking brigade. Lakers will win 2 games. We win and go into the finals. Knock it off. Knock it off. Now, I used to get excited in the past too when Kobe was there and yeah, blah, 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 but knock it off. Like, they're not going to win 2 games or win a big game. All of a sudden, I'm rocking a Lakers jersey. Nah, knock it off. Let's be for real. The West is for real. The West is a very difficult conference to win. But you better believe if the Lakers win even 3 to 5 games in a row, these jokers are going to be on TV telling you, oh man, I think they can beat the Thunder. Do you remember? These fools were on TV twerking it up and basically shaking like a bunch of hyenas being trapped by a pack of lions, talking about some damn, yeah, they got the wolves. They gonna win. You forgot? You forgot Uncle Shay Shay? Petrified, galvanized, whatever it is. The Lakers in 5. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember Lakers in 5? You remember everybody in media? I think the Lakers have what it takes to get to the NBA Finals. What do you think? What do you think? And I'm sitting like, y'all can't be serious. All of these people twerked it up. Talking about the Lakers going to get to the finals and they got slapped in round 1. Again. So please, let them at least get past round 1 before we start saying, I think they could win it all. How about that for a change? Or they exhibit the type of dominance that the Oklahoma City Thunder did. Watching them throughout the season, it was clear to see, man, these dudes are gangbusters here. Like, these dudes is hooligans. These dudes are barbarians. There was no stretch in the NBA last year where I said the Lakers were barbarians. Like, let's just knock it all the way off. About 3 years ago, there was a lot of hype surrounding the Los Angeles Lakers because of an offseason acquisition that they made when they acquired one Russell Westbrook. Now, prior to them acquiring Russell Westbrook had come off averaging yet another triple-double for the Washington Wizards. So when the Lakers made the move, everybody reacted to it positively, right? Odds makers gave him the second best odds to win the title, or second or third best odds to win the title, the best odds to come out of the Western Conference. You have people like Kendrick Perkins, who I'm going to get to in a minute, who actually predicted the Lakers that year would win over 70 games. People were losing their minds because they thought that this team was going to be good. And some of the people included players on that team, including LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Russell Westbrook himself. But some of us out here were like, bro, are you sure this is going to work? And the primary reason a lot of us had questions about whether or not that compilation of players was going to work was because of LeBron James and Russell Westbrook. They kind of did similar things. Obviously, LeBron did it at a higher level, more efficient level. So many of us felt like that would be an issue. And then once Russell Westbrook got to LA, man, it was just I hadn't seen anything like it. The entire sports media just collapsed on him. And every little fault became every little fault for the team became Russell Westbrook or Frank Vogel's fault. They took all the blame to the point where you had people like Charles Barkley calling out the media like, y'all are making this entire thing about Russ and Frank Vogel. And you had people like Shannon Sharp feasting on the bones of Russell Westbrook as he was getting demolished on the day. Shannon Sharp spent a good year alongside Skip Bayless roasting. Don't be feeling too bad for Shannon. He didn't had a part to play in the demise of some other dudes. And Russ was one of them, right? Skip was putting together lowlights and all kind of stuff, right? So you had that go down. Then it got to the point where we started to notice like the team was starting to pull away from Russ. Reporters like Dave McMenamin started releasing stories about Russell Westbrook being compared to a locker room vampire. A vampire. A blood-sucking vampire, right? That was one of the reports coming out. And then Russ obviously got very defensive with the media. It got to the point where Russell Westbrook's wife called out Skip. Don't we all want a wife like her? A woman that rides with you so much that she's not going to tolerate the slander, right? It just got really, really bad. And ever since Russell Westbrook left that team, first he was cut. He was traded to the Utah Jazz by the trade deadline. Then they waived him and then he was signed by the Clippers, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that. So Russell Westbrook, before getting to the Lakers, he was a guy averaging a triple-double and a max player. By the time he was done playing with LeBron, he was a mid-level exception guy. And his reputation had been totally destroyed. But little did people know, and maybe Russ know, just how far he would fall ever since his fallout from LeBron. So I came across some sound here today of some things that Kendrick Perkins, who used to be teammates with Russell Westbrook with the Thunder, revealed. And how he was giving Russ basically the warning like, yo, bro, you could be in serious trouble. And he dates all the way back to the year where he joined the Lakers. Take a listen to Kendrick Perkins here.
Do we realize that training camp started and Russell Westbrook is not on the roster?
I'd like to believe that that's by choice. He's waiting for the right opportunity or the one.
I believe that's not by choice. Now, let me say this. This very situation, this moment right here that we're in, Russell Westbrook not being on the roster, is what hurt me and Russell Westbrook personal relationship. Because on sometime 3-4 years ago, when he was on the Lakers roster, okay, and reports came back to me from general managers around the league, and I said it on television, that, hey, man, Russ got to be careful now. The rumor is word around the league is that if he don't be careful, temper it down, he might find himself out the league. Okay? This is what I said. After that, I get a long paragraph from his wife, Nina. She reads me her rights, or thought she did. I thought you would never turn your back. After that, our relationship was over with, right? Because then my wife get involved. They go back and forth. because I ain't doing nothing but doing my job. And I'm not killing Russ, right? I'm not killing them. These are reports. But here we are, right? At this very moment where Russ opted out of his last year with Denver, right? He opted out. He had a player option. The only team that had interest from reports is Sacramento. And here we are starting the season, and Russell Westbrook is not on the roster. Do I believe he should be? Absolutely. I think he should be on the Milwaukee Bucks right now. I really do. But the reality is that for the first time in probably the last 15 years, Russell Westbrook is not on a roster. Crazy.
So you heard what Kendrick Perkins had to say. What people don't seem to understand is that LeBron is a media darling, right? He's a media darling, and the media will protect him at all costs. And if it means trashing his teammates, so be it. If it means trashing his coaches, so be it. All in the name of protecting one LeBron James. And that's exactly what happened. Players, for whatever reason, like to run and play with LeBron. And the question I have for the audience is, what LeBron teammate has had their reputation enhanced by playing with him? What teammate that after they played with him had their reputation enhanced? I'm trying to think. I can think of teammates that have had their reputations destroyed and been made the punching bag by the media. I can give you a few names. Chris Bosh, to the point where he was being called Bosh Spice. Dwayne Wade to a certain extent, but they didn't try so much with D Wade because he was a bad boy. Although they try to blame some of the shortcomings in Miami on him. Kevin Love, Kyrie Irving, they just stopped short of calling him a nut job. Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook, Luka Doncic. Y'all didn't notice the pattern with Luka? Luka went from being a guy that was in the NBA Finals to a guy that's fat, lazy, out of shape, needs LeBron to show him how to do pull-ups and sit-ups. Do you notice a pattern? Do you notice a pattern? And now you can see what happened with Russell Westbrook. He's currently outside the NBA. And the turning point was when he joined the Lakers. Because everywhere else he's been, they loved him. They loved him in Denver. Nikola Jokic wanted him. They loved him with the Clippers. They loved him over there. It's only in LA. Only in LA. I wonder why. I'm so excited. I'm rocking my $2 bling. I'm rocking my $2.50 bling. I'm feeling good about it. And I think it's a time for us fellas to celebrate because that damn Malika Andrews has finally been apprehended. So let's talk about it. As you guys know, Malika Andrews is arguably the most annoying person in sports media, and I don't really think is up for conversation. Is up for discussion. Malika is insufferable. Okay? And it all goes back to when she was on ESPN First Take during the Ime Udoka scandal. Y'all remember that, right? The story came out that Ime Udoka had an affair with a subordinate, or no, a colleague, excuse me, at the Boston Celtics, and he was being suspended indefinitely. And he was turning around that team. When he took over the team, they became like the number one defense in the NBA. They were doing very well. So the news came out, and in typical nut job fashion, Malika Andrews and a lot of these twerking ass dudes that were pandering came out. Oh my God, Ime Udoka's in the wrong. And we're like, what? He's in the wrong? I'm confused. Yes, he's in the wrong. He ought to know better for doing something like that with a subordinate. And I'm like, subordinate? How you know it's a subordinate? We don't know the person that they're refusing to release information. So they didn't even know. They didn't even know who the person was in question. But people, including these jigaboo dudes, had already came to the conclusion that it was with a subordinate, a person in power. How could you know it was a person in power and we don't know who the person was? Right? So That news broke, and apparently Malika Andrews was at the press conference for what? The Celtics. So she goes there. Her ass gets invited on ESPN, and she proceeded to make herself, in that moment, the most hated person in sports media. And from that point onwards, it was just one thing after another, after another, after another, after another. So for some of y'all who may be new to this whole thing and may be confused why a lot of us are not fans of Malika Andrews, we want to play some of the things that she said and done over the last few years as to why this moment here, we're all going to relish it. Take a listen to Malika Andrews and her greatest hits over the last few years. Take a listen to her here.
Stephen A., with all due respect, this is not about pointing the finger. Stop. What became apparent to me in this press conference is that we do not have all of the information here. And it was frustrating to me that the Celtics declined to elaborate or to give more specifics about what exactly the rule breaking was that led us to this point. So that I just want to get that out of the way first. But to answer your question, Molly, I think what stood out to me, I think what stood out to me is that Brad Stevens, he was upset. That's what stood out to me about what he termed rampant Twitter BS is the word that he used, that women were unfairly dragged into this within the Celtics organization. You could see that Brad Stevens was visibly upset about this. And I also found that to be gross and unnecessary, that folks were bringing in the names and the images of women that is just not a fact. That was purely speculation. And so to me, that is what stood out. But the Celtics as an organization could have done more, and short of doing more ahead of this yesterday, they could have owned that responsibility in this press conference. I understand that there were legal parameters that they had to operate within for everybody involved. And I appreciate the fact that they brought in outside counsel and did a thorough organization. And I think that that is something that was clearly necessary in this situation. But the fact that it was able to go on all day, the fact that we are sitting here debating whether somebody else should have been suspended or not, we are not here, Stephen A., to further blame women. That is not why we are here.
I want to bring in our NBA analyst, Kendrick Perkins, into this conversation because, Perk, you played for the Celtics organization. What were your thoughts on this message here?
Well, one, to me, I didn't like Brad's comments on this, and let me explain why. Not the fact that he was taking up and protecting the women in the organization, but, you know, he said about the speculations and the Twitter BS and things to that nature, and how unfair it was to the women in the organization that is not involved with this particular situation, and I get that, right? But why is it speculations? It's speculations because of the reports that were put out by the actual Boston Celtics. So they didn't do a great job from the jump of actually protecting the women in their organization, because knowing that they were going to sit up here and give out this information and go out here and suspend Ime Udoka and talk about, just give a little details, it's going to have people speculating. And in my eyes, I feel like the Boston Celtics dropped the ball, not only in protecting their entire franchise, but in protecting the women as well. They should have made sure that they crossed their T's and dotted their I's before they put this information out. And I get it. Now we're to this point, and now he had to go on here and he had to say this and he had to say that to protect those innocent women. But at the end of the day, man, it just ain't right how they went about it. The word accountability, okay? Accountability doesn't just go to Ime Udoka, okay? Accountability goes to the other people that played a part in that as well. Let me tell you another thing I didn't like about my good friend Wick Grossbeck and Brad Stevens in this press conference when they asked, is anybody else going to be punished? And they said no. And my whole thing is this, right? These are some of the facts that have been out. These are some facts that I know that, you know, this relationship, one of these relationships that was had with Ime Udoka and one of these women, it was consensual, meaning that this woman actually played a part in it too. So my thing is, yes, Ime Udoka was wrong. We get that. His punishment, he deserved that, and whatever else follows, I hate it for him, but he put himself in this position. But why are the other people getting left off the hook?
Well,
that's the problem that I have right now. Everybody got to be held accountable.
I think that we need to circle back to what Shanae said, is that there was a investigation that was conducted by an independent law firm here. And I think that transparency is what will rule the day here. And so without having all of the information, it is unfair and irresponsible of us to go and to speculate on that, because what we have to...
Well, I'm not speculating. Sure. I have the information. I'm not speculating.
But what we have to go with here is the fact that an independent law firm came in, did this investigation, and the facts that they were presented, they came to the conclusion that Ime Udoka violated a policy that warranted a 1-year suspension. And I share your frustration with the lack of transparency, while understanding that there is some things that they need to, from a legal perspective, keep private. But knowing all of that, understanding all of that, we have to come to the conclusion that whatever rule, the conduct that was broken on one side, it is not the same on the other side. I thank you for your perspective.
His name did surface in court testimony involving a case where his former teammate and another man, they've been indicted for capital murder in the fatal of 23-year-old Jamia Harris in January. The University of Alabama has described Miller as a cooperating witness. How is this factoring, if at all, into how teams are evaluating him?
So you heard her. That's Malika Andrews, right? The Brandon Miller, the Ime Udoka, all of these different things. She even threw Kendrick Perkins off the air, right? Then when Josh Giddey stuff, it got so bad that ESPN forced her to make a comment, right? Because they were trying to find some balance. So you had that. So there was a particular clip that was going viral over the last few days. And it featured, I guess this guy's a comedian, who ran down on Malika Andrews, thinking she was Carrie Champion. So he ran down on her and he's like, "Oh, Carrie Champion, nice to meet you." And Malika Andrews is there smiling like, "Oh my God, damn, this is awkward." So what we want to do is we want to show you the footage of her finally getting a piece of humiliation pie. And then we're going to continue on the show. Take a look at this, please.
Oh my God, Carrie Champion. Carrie Champion. I knew that was you, Carrie Champion. I love you.
I'm not Carrie Champion.
Huh?
I'm not Carrie Champion.
No, you do this. You're a sports reporter.
I do, but I'm not Carrie Champion.
You're the finest woman in sports, Carrie Champion.
Unfortunately not, but I appreciate the compliment. My name's Malika.
Who?
Malika.
Malika who? Andrews. Oh, damn, that's Jaylen Brown girl. You Jaylen Brown girl.
I think you're a little confused, buddy.
I'm confused.
Excellent. So you saw it. I think we can all say that we all enjoyed that. I certainly did. Right? I certainly did. Now, to be serious, what's the reason people don't like Malika Andrews? And by people, I mean men. The reason people don't like her is because we feel like she just has something against men, especially black guys. Because for that one, she's ready to get to work. And a lot of people are like, "Bro, what happened? Like, what did we do to you? Like, what did we do to you?" And we also get the sense that she's also sexist, because during that Ime Udoka situation, she made it clear that the only person at fault was Ime Udoka, like as if he had an affair with a freaking cactus. All right, it wasn't like as if it was then we found out it was a consensual situation. She still wasn't backing down. And you had all of these dudes that were up there simping. "Oh man, how can you do that in a position of power?" And like, bro, do you know who it is? Then I think we've later on found out it was one of the owners. Like, really, position of power, right? The coach messing around, I think, with the owner's wife. Yeah, that's really a position of power. So it's been a long time coming. We did a live show the other day, reacted to the Molly Karam news, and I said, what if they replace Molly Karam and Malika? You should have seen the reaction of people in the chat. They couldn't stand. And then you have these people that come out here, these guys that come out here and try to gaslight you. "I don't understand what people have against Malika." Really? You don't? You don't? "I don't know why people are being unfair." Really? You don't? You don't? Is that so? Oh, then I guess then you just not gonna know. You just not gonna know.